Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So you people can reach me anytime by this mail ID, and I request all of you to join Google Classroom by today night or tomorrow morning. Okay. End of every class, you will be getting a quiz, right? And you're supposed to respond on the same day or almost by evening 5 o'clock, right? So the Google Classroom code I have said here, I will be sharing it to the all CRs also. You should download this app. Even if you are in Apple device, you will be able to do so. Google Classroom app, and try to join the classroom by entering this code. You have to use a Google account, right? Don't use Geetham account. So this Google Classroom will be active throughout this semester, and after that also you will be able to access all documents what and videos what I said time to time, and you will be able to attend the quizzes and give the assessments whatever asked time to time, right? So for this course, this is the textbook what you require. Morris Mano, okay, 5th edition Pearson, Indian edition book, right? If at all you want to buy, you can buy this book. This is very helpful, and the soft copy of the book is uploaded in Google Classroom, right? You can download and use it for your own purpose, right? This is the reference book what is given as per your syllabus. Okay, so follow class and class notes first, then refer this standard books always. Okay, right. So what this course is about, I guess all of you might have gone through a course called as basic electronics or some sort of this name in the first year, right? Where you might have studied transistors, diodes, triodes, and you might have done some labs. Okay, uh, some sort of electronic labs, electronic workshops, right? So this particular course is offered to second year people of CSC, IT as well as EC electrical department also. How this is helpful for you people and how it is helpful to EC and electrical people. Fundamentals are same for everyone. Applications will be different. So I will be teaching this course in some different perspective because you are computer science students. The same course, if it is taught to EC people, it will be taught in a different perspective. Okay. So what is the difference? I will tell time to time. Okay. So this digital logic design, or say the course name, you it has been given by your department as fundamentals of digital logic circuits. Okay, fundamentals of digital logic circuits. So what we will be seeing is what do we mean by digital logic, what do we mean by digital logic circuits, and what are digital systems. Okay, and what is automata, and I mean basic things here to understand is what or how the machines do understands our instructions whatever we are giving, how the machine interprets, and how the things are done, and what kind of circuits we have, what kind of circuit elements we have, and how to make a circuit, and how to minimize it so that our size of the device will be reduced. All these aspects, okay, fundamental requirements we will be seeing in this course, right? So how computer, I mean computer usually understands zeros and ones, like that you might have listened. Okay, so what are those zeros and ones, what is binary, and what are the number systems, and how to make the computer understand, and how it was done in earlier days and how it is done today. Okay, everything we will see, right? So what is the objective of the course? It will facilitate the student to represent number in different number system. This is what given in your syllabus. Okay, I have taken it from your syllabus book, right? So I have to follow what your university is asking to do, right? So they have set up these objectives for you people. So this course will helpful for you to represent number in different number system and convert them from one to another. Okay, like binary to decimal, decimal to binary, or octal to hexadecimal, one to another. Okay, we will see. And this course will introduce you to logic gates and theorems and properties of Boolean algebra. Okay, we will see what is Boolean algebra and what is logic gates and what theorems do we have. Okay, we will see in subsequent units. And this course will also familiarize the student with techniques for minimization of expressions and establish its necessity, right? So how to minimize those circuits, right? How to minimize those circuits and why minimization is required, okay, we will see in subsequent lectures. And this will also helpful to demonstrate the design of combinational and sequential logic circuits, how to design shift registers, how to store those binary values, and how to design counters and all, right? So we will see in this particular course, right? Small examples, right? What contents we have in this course? Okay, unit 1 deals with binary systems, and unit 2 deals with Boolean algebra and logic circuits. Unit 3 deals with gate level minimizations. Okay, and unit 4 we will be learning about combinational circuits, and in unit 5 we will be learning about sequential circuits. Syllabus is pretty small, okay, compared to syllabus of any other university for this particular course. Okay, so the contents are little less. Okay, you don't have advanced content in this particular course. In some other semester, if you go to if you pick up some other courses, you may have those advanced topics covered in those courses, right? So we will be learning the basics, and please do follow what I am teaching in class. Try to practice them, okay, so it will be much more helpful for easier learning, right? So let's start. I mean, these are the contents. Okay, these are the contents you can go through, like binary systems, what they have, what are they. Like in today's class, we will be starting unit 1. Okay, without wasting any time. So where positional representation of numbers, decimal, octal, hexadecimal number, or radix system, conversion from one to another, binary codes, and some arithmetics. Okay, with them, like some subtraction and multiplication, division, those all. Okay, so I will be starting today binary systems quickly, and see the other units I have noted here. Okay, the slides will be shared to you in Google's classroom. You can go through it. Okay, these things are available, right? So let's see. Uh, Start with binary systems. Okay, I will ask someone to read this statement what I have written. Okay, so roll number 38 90938. Can you read this? What is written on the screen?
Yes, sir.
Be louder.
There are 10 types of people in the world.
Be
Those
louder.
who understand. There are 10 types of people in the world. Those who understand binary and those who do not.
Do not. Okay, mute yourself. 34. B934. Can you read it?
Binary systems, there are 10 types of people in the world, those who understand binary and those who do not.
Those who do not. Right. I'll ask someone of B10. Right. Roll number 5, B10.
There are 10 types of people in the world, those who understand binary and those who do not.
Those who do not. Roll number 17, B10. Jyoti Prakash. Are you there?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hello.
Yeah. Can you read it for me?
Unit 1, binary systems. There are 10 types of people in world. Those who understand binary and those who don't.
Okay. So I asked 4 people to read this. Okay. There is some motive behind this, and you all 4 people read it wrong. Okay. We will see what is wrong in this. Right. So let's start from this statement. Okay, so binary. Okay, binary. What do we mean by binary? Right. So I will ask sometime later to read this. Okay, in today's class. So before going to that, let's understand what is computer science and what is computer science and engineering. Okay, what is the difference? Okay, so I'm just reading it. Computer science focuses mostly on troubleshooting issues on a software level. Expect to learn different programming language, how to work with operating system, and how to maintain database. Okay, but computer engineering focuses on solving problems and designing hardware and software interfaces, right? So there is a difference between these two, science and engineering. Okay, what one person does in science and what one person does in engineering is mentioned here. Okay, time to time when we progress through this course, I will tell which aspect is handled by whom, right? Similarly, let's move uh, to know some more things. What is definition of a computer? Okay, what is definition of a computer? It's an electronic device which is capable of receiving information in a particular form. Okay, perform a sequence of operation in accordance with a predetermined but variable set of procedural instructions, what you call as a program. Whatever you program, the computer will do or execute the same thing, right? And third thing is producing a result in the form of information or signal. Okay, computer means which does some sort of computing, which does some sort of computing. So how it will compute? Computer don't have its own intelligence. The intelligence is given by us. Okay, how we give intelligence to a system? Okay, to a processor, how we give, how we make it intelligent, right? We give instructions to it. How we give instructions to it? Okay, how we give instructions to it? So we understand some language, right? We understand some language, let's say English or Hindi or Telugu or whatever. We understand some language. In that language, uh, we look into some problem and try to uh, frame the problem in our language. Then we have to map this our language into some form which the machine can understand and do something helpful, needful for us. Okay, so how to make the machine known that you have to do this particular task? Let's say we will go to one example just after some slide. Okay, see, what are computers? The answer is computers are automata, right? So I'm teaching this course with a perspective of automata theory, right, which will be there in some next semester courses for computer science IT people, right? So what is automata means? What the term automate is derived from some Greek word, okay, which is self-acting. Okay, so automation is an abstract self-propelled computing device which follows a predetermined sequence of operation automatically. So whatever we have programmed it, automatically it will do the same thing. So how to program it? Okay, and what things are there inside? Just for understanding, I'm telling this. There are four major categories: finite state machine, push down automata, linear bounded automata, and turning machine. So if few more things would have been accommodated in this course is what finite state machine is. Okay, so we don't have in this course. If time permits, I'll tell you what finite state machine is. Okay, after learning unit 4 and 5, right? So let's go to this particular figure. Okay, what you are able to see there, you see a coffee vending machine. You see a coffee vending machine, right? Automatic coffee vending machine, right? So there is a diagram here. So a state S is there, a state C is there. How coffee vending machine or automatic machines do work? How they work? So first you insert some coin in it. Okay, so if you insert some coin, it senses the coin, whether the coin is a valid coin or not. Okay, is the coin present? Every time continuously while through, I mean infinite loop, it will be sensing through the sensor that did I receive a coin? Did I receive a coin? If I didn't receive the coin, don't start the machine. Okay, so if you receive the coin, you can see if you receive the coin, it moves to state C and the machine gets ready. It takes some time to get ready or make the coffee. Okay, then it takes its own time and dispenses the coffee for you or for the user who have inserted the coin. Right, this much intelligence for this particular machine, how it is given, right? So this is an example of finite state automata. Okay, so in digital logic, this is a system, digital system. This is a digital system, and something is programmed and dumped in its memory, and it will execute the same thing again and again. It will execute the same thing again and again. So continuously it will sense for a coin. If there is a coin, sensing is true, then go and make coffee and give that much amount of coffee as output, right? So this is an example of digital systems. What do you mean by digital logic? Digital logic is representation of signal and sequence of a digital circuit through numbers. I guess you people are not clear about what do we mean by analog signal and digital signal. In subsequent semesters, you will be clear about this. So as of now, you remember these things. digital logic is representation of signal. A signal means what? Signal contains some information. Okay, briefly I am telling, please understand. Signal contains some information. So what do you mean by information is the next question. What do you mean by information? So may I ask some of you, uh, uh, just I will tell something about signals. So let me write here. I told signals contain some information. It contain some information, right? All of you agree to this? Signals contain some information with respect to time, space, or with respect to some independent variable. Okay. So next question is, I would like to know from you, what do you mean by information? What do you mean by information? Right? So I'm writing some statements over here. Okay. Before going to that, let me ask roll number 30, B10. Can you answer me? What do you mean by information? People can put the answer in chat also, others. Okay. Sandeep, you can answer me. Unmute yourself.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, sir. Hello.
Yeah. What do you mean by information?
It is a type of statement or a set of statements.
Set of statements. Okay. Mute yourself. Yeah. Others. Collection of some useful data, knowledges, collection of data, knowledges of fact provided or learned about something or someone. Okay, let me answer it for you quickly. We have, less time span here. So information means I'm writing few statement. Okay, I could not initiate poll. I am on multiple devices. Let's say I'm writing sun rises in east. Okay, this is one statement. Second statement, 2 into 2 is equal to 4. Third statement, 2 into 5 is equal to 50. Okay, so what is the amount of information present in the first statement, second statement, and third statement? Okay, what is the amount of information present in this statement? I'm answering. Okay, so let's say I will ask someone. Okay, 2B1059. Gagan Sai, are you there? Yeah, sun rises in east. How much amount of information does this statement have in a scale of 0 to 100? Am I clear? In a scale of 0 to 100, okay, 100%, what is the percentage of information
Sir, how do we
available
calculate the parameter, sir? Like, how do we calculate
How
for
can
how
we
much
evaluate,
information?
You see, I have written some statement. First one is scientific fact. Okay, second one is 2 into 2 is equal to 4. Mathematical stuff. Okay, which you have been learning since class 1. Okay, and third thing is 2 into 5 is equal to 50, which you don't know.
Incorrect.
Right.
Incorrect.
So
Zeros.
in a scale of 0 to 100, what will be first one?
100%.
Sun rises in east. What will be the percentage of information? 100.
100%.
Okay, I'm writing what you people have answered here. Okay, 2 into 2 is equal to 4.
Also 100.
Same. 2 into 5 is equal to 50.
0.
Yes, sir.
0.
Okay.
0.
So most of you have answered to this. I mean, these answers what I have written. But let me tell. The answer is wrong. Okay. So sun rises in east is having 0% information. It's not 100. It's 0. Okay. Sun rises in east, it is having 0% information. 2 into 2 is equal to 4 is having 0% information. 2 into 5 is equal to 50 is having 100% information. How?
Okay, yes. Because those two are
Because it is
facts that we
unknown.
already know that.
Okay. These things are known to everyone. These two
Yeah, but
statements are known to everyone.
yes,
Okay. And this is unknown to everyone.
yes,
So a person who is getting highest score in your class, some results came and someone informed you that that particular person has failed miserably in next test. So it do have a lot of information in it, right? Because whenever there used to be a test, that particular fellow used to get topper. But suddenly someone told that who used to get fail every time in exam got highest mark, and who you used to get highest mark got fail. So in those sort of statements, we do have highest information. Information content is high. So what we write? What do you mean by information? Information means the amount of uncertainty. Amount of uncertainty associated with an event. Amount of uncertainty associated with an event. Okay, with an event. Right. Information means what? Amount of uncertainty associated with an event. If uncertainty is more, information is more or less.
more.
If a thing is more uncertain, information is more. If a event is less uncertain, information is less.
Less.
Okay.
Yes.
So signal contain information. Okay, signal contain information, right? So a signal contain information means which is unknown. Those things. Let's say I am speaking, you don't know what I am going to speak. So all people are listening to me, right? So I am delivering some information to you people, right? So my signal means what? Signal contain information. Okay. Then with respect to some independent variable, like I am speaking something, my voice is coming out of my mouth with respect to time. Okay, with respect to time, and it is recorded using a device called as microphone, which do convert my voice signal into electrical signal. Then that particular electrical signal is passed through a analog to digital converter and converted into binary bits. Okay, so they are further processed. Okay, so I mean to say that any real time thing which do have information is processed. Okay, is processed, okay, using some sort of device or some sort of technique, and the output of that particular thing, we get digital data, I mean binary data. Like my voice signal, there is a process called a sampling. Okay, sampling x-axis, sampling y-axis, and mapping it to some binary values. Okay, so we do get digital signal, and we try to process those signal through some circuits. We want some computers to process that. My voice signal need to be taken, okay, and it has to be beautifully sampled and add a background music and do some stuff. To do all these things, you need some computing device, and the computing device should understand what it has to do and how to make the device known that you have to do this particular thing. Okay, how to make the device known that you have to do this particular thing. So how to make the device known? We have some technique, we have some program. You people write some program, or instruction using C language or some other language what you have learned, that make a this particular type of I mean text box, okay, on the screen where it is written click me. Then if you click it, it does something, it manages the system to link to a website. Whatever you program, the computing device does it, right? So with this background, okay, we will go to the number system what we were discussing. Okay, so these sort of logics has to be uh, I mean given to the computing devices, right? So why do we study digital logic design? It is used to develop hardware such as circuit boards, microchip processors. Okay, we will be learning another course called as microprocessors. Okay, very important, and this course act as a prerequisite for that course. Okay, you have to understand this in a much better way to understand microprocessors, right? This hardware processes user input, system protocol, and other data in navigational systems, cell phone, and other high-tech systems. Okay, you will understand gradually. in this course, right? So why it is called as digital logic? Digital circuits are also called as logic circuits because they perform logical operations. I will tell you what do we mean by logical operations. When we have a set of values in A, when we have a set of values in B, okay, and we expect some output out of these two values logically, okay, it's not sum, it's not subtraction, it's not multiplication, it's not division. There is some logic to get the output, okay. So what is, that's why it is called as digital logic, okay, or Boolean logic, right? So first topic starts with positional representation of numbers. Positional representation of numbers, right? So here, how numbers are represented? Okay, uh, let's start with the decimal system. Okay, let's go to my writing. Okay, I'm starting with the decimal system. Okay, which is familiar to all of us. Okay, decimal systems. So in decimal systems, how numbers are represented? In decimal systems, how numbers are represented? Okay, in alphabet, what we have? In the English alphabet, we have 26 characters. Okay, we do have 26 characters. Similarly, in decimal systems, what we have? How many characters are there? 10
0
characters
to
are
9.
there. They are 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. These are the 10 numbers we have. Okay, except these 10, we don't have anything. Because it is 10, we call it as decimal. Okay, decimal systems. So today I will tell decimal systems and binary systems, right? So in decimal system, let's say I have a number 7392. Okay, let me write it like this to represent it is in decimal. Okay, 7392 in decimal. So how exactly it is represented mathematically, right? To be more exact, 7392 is a shortened notation of this, right? So I can write it as what? 7 into 10 power 3 plus, okay, 3 into 10 power 2 plus 9 into 10 power 1 plus 2 into 10 power 0, right? So what is 7 into 10 power 3? It's 700. Okay, so what is this? This is 3 into 10 square, sorry, 7,000. This is 300. Okay, this is 90 plus this is 2. 7,392. 7,392 is the answer. So this is the correct, I mean, decoding. All of you understood. Similarly, if you have some decimal thing, what do you write? If you have some decimal thing, let's say I have like a3, a2, a1, a0 dot a minus 1, a minus 2. Okay, like this in this form in decimal, right? This is in decimal. So what we will write? Let's write this part. Okay, so this is what it will be: a0 into 10 power 0. Okay, plus I'm writing in this way, it will be easier. A1 10 power 1. Okay, plus a2 10 power 2. Okay, plus a3 10 power 3, right? Similarly, after decimal, these things, how it is written? A minus 1 10 power minus 1. Okay, plus a minus 2 10 power minus 2, right? Similarly, it will go on. A power a minus 3 10 power minus 3, if at all it is there. Right? So this is the decimal thing, right? Let's move to another example. If I write in binary, so binary systems. Okay, binary systems. So in binary systems, in the alphabet, how many things we have? Like in decimal, we have 10. In binary, we have how many?
2.
We have only 2. That is 0 and 1. We have only 2 things, 0 and 1. Okay, nothing else. So let's say I have written a binary number. Okay, 11010.11. Okay, that's in binary. I have taken the decimal values also. So how we will write this? So let's start from this. Okay, this is 0 into 2 power 0.
0.
Okay, 0 into 2 power 0 plus, let's write for this. This is 1 into 2 power 1. Okay, plus this 0. This is 0 into 2 power 2. Okay, so this one is what? 1 into 2 power 3. This one is what? 1 into 2 power 4. Okay, and there is a decimal. Okay, we will write this part, this one. This is what? 1 into 2 power minus 1. Okay, plus, what is this one? This is 1 into 2 power minus 2. All of you understood?
Yes, sir.
Right. So this is written in base 2. Base 2 means binary. So if you decode it in this way, what you will get? If you decode it in this way, what you will get? Let's
26
calculate.
point.
26 point. What will be this one? This is 1 upon 2 plus, let me decode this part for you. So this will result in 26. Try yourself.
26.75.
Yeah, 26.75. This is 1 into 2 power minus 1 means what? 1 by 2 plus this is 1 by 4. Okay, so 1 by 2 means what? 2 by 4. Okay, 2 by 4 plus 1 by 4. This is 3 by 4. 3 by 4 means 0.75. Okay, so what we can write for this? We can write 0.75. This is the decimal equivalent of, this is the decimal equivalent of what? This binary number. Understood? This is decimal equivalent of this binary number. This is decimal equivalent of this binary number. Right? If a binary number is given, how to get its equivalent decimal number? In this way. This is the method. Right? All of you understood, I guess. Right? Similarly, let's learn another method. So you have a value, let's say 55 I have taken, 55. It is in decimal and I would like to know what will happen if I represent it in binary. So how we used to do it? 55, you have to go for a division by 2. Here 2 is there, so I will divide it by 2. So what I will get? 2, 2, 4. This is 15. Okay, 2 sevens are 14. Remainder is 1. Okay, right. Now again divide it by 2. 2. This is 1. This is 3. Right. Remainder is 1. Again 2, 6, 12. Remainder is 1. Okay. 2, 3 is 6. This is 0. 2 1s are 2. This is 1. Right. This is 1. So write it in this way from this side. Okay. So what you get? This is 1 1 0 1. Let me write it here. 1 1 0 1, and see, this is 1 1 0 1 1 1. Okay. This is the binary equivalent of what? If you write 55 in decimal, this is equal to this much in binary. Understood? All of you understood?
Yes, sir.
Right. So if you write 55 in decimal, this is what in binary, right? Similarly, you can take, I will take another example. Let's say any desired number you can take. Let's say 17. 17 is given in decimal. Okay. So how to know its equivalent thing in binary? Okay. How to know its equivalent thing in binary? What you will do? 17 divided by 2. Because I would like to know in 2, you have to divide it by 2. Okay. 2 8 is 16. Remainder 1. Okay. So 2 4 8, this is 0. 2 2 4, this is 0. Sorry. 2 1s are 2, it's 0. So this is 1 triple 0 1. Okay. This is 1 triple 0 1 in binary, right? So 17 in decimal is equal to this much in binary. I guess it's clear to all of you, right? So if you are asked to convert a base 10 thing to any base, let's say base 5, you can easily do. Okay, let me pose the same question. You have 17 in base 10. Okay, what you will get if you write it in base 5? So start dividing this 17 fellow by 5. Okay, so because this is 5 here, start dividing it by 5. So it is 5 3s are 15 and you get remainder 2. Okay, so it's 503. Okay, anyway, we could have stopped here. So it's equivalent to 32. Okay, it's equivalent to what? It's equivalent to 32. Okay, right? All of you understood? 32 in
Yes, sir.
base 5 systems, right? Base 5 systems. Similarly, given base 10, any base you can find, any base. So in your syllabus is radical R systems. Means what? If I have, let's say, 259, if I simply give these numbers, you will be unable to know in which number system it is. Explicitly we have to mention. Okay, 259, let's say it's in decimal, so I would like to know it in any base R. So what you will do, divide this 259 in this way by R. Okay, go on dividing this. Okay, and write it in this order, you will get the answer. Okay, you will get the answer. And the other one also I explained earlier, right here, this example. Okay, it was given in binary, how to get it in decimal. Okay, how to get it in decimal. So let's move to another system, octal system. Okay, I'll just give an introduction to octal system. What is octal systems? Let's say 26. Okay, base 10. If something I would like to write in base 8, okay, what it will be? So how to do this, you all know. So but in octal system, how many digits are there in the alphabet? 8 digits should be there. What are they? 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. These are the 8 digits. These are the 8 digits. Okay, we have in the octal system. Okay, in the octal system. Similarly, if we go to hexadecimal system, if you go to hexadecimal system, what we have? It's something is given in base 10 and you are asked to represent it using base 16. Okay, so in this alphabet hexadecimal system, what we have? We have 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. Then we don't have 10, we have capital A, B, C, D, E and F. This total is 16. Okay, A represents 10, B represents 11, C 12, D 13, E 14, F 15. 0 to 15, 16 elements are there. Okay, so in this way we can convert. Okay, we can convert from one base to another base, right? So next what you have to know is, let's try. I'm giving an example now. Let's take an example. Capital B 6 5 F, it is given, right? If A B C D E F is there, it is evident that it is a hexadecimal system. Okay, it's mentioned like this, and I would like to know its decimal value. So how to know? I would like to know in decimal how much this results into. So what we will do? First, let's start with this is 16 power 0, this is 16 power 1, 16 power 2, 16 power 3. Okay, so what we will do, what is B? What is the value of B? A means 10, B is 11. So 11 into 16 power, this is 16 power 0, 1, 2, 3. This is 16 power 3. Okay, plus 6 into 16 square. Okay, plus next element is, okay, 5 into 61. Okay, plus F means what? 16 into 16 power 0. F means 15, not 16. Okay, 16 power 0, right? So how much answer you will get? Try yourself. Okay, I'm writing the answer directly. You will get 46,687. Okay, in decimal, right? 46,687 in decimal, right? So in this way we can convert from one base to another base, right? I guess it's clear to all of you, right? Any difficulty, try yourself. Okay, take the textbook what I have given in Google Classroom. Okay, plenty of examples are there. Online also you can find plenty of examples. Try to solve from one base to another base, one base to another base. Okay, right? So I guess I'm clear. Binary. What do you mean by binary systems? What do you mean by octal systems or hexadecimal systems and all? And I have mentioned the alphabets also. Let me conclude here. Okay, put it in a note. Like if you have decimal system base 10. Okay, this is base 10. In alphabet, what you have? You have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. Okay, if you go for base 2, what you have? 0 and 1. Okay, if you go for base 8, what you have? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, if you go for base 16 hexadecimal systems, what you have? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, 8, 9, A, B, C, D. Okay, D, wait, C, D, E, F. Right? I guess it's clear to all of you, right? I have noted here. These bases we have seen. How to convert from one base to another base also we came to know. Next class what I will teach is, next class, see we are running out of time. I'm just informing you next class what we will teach. I will tell you how to add two binary numbers. Okay, add two binary numbers. Okay, how to subtract two binary numbers, how to multiply two binary numbers. Okay, because decimal things we know, we will correlate it with binary, how to divide two binary numbers, right? Add, subtract, multiply, divide. These are not the logical operations. These are the operations what we already know. Okay, the logical stuffs we will be reading gradually. Okay, in this course. Okay? So let's. I'm stopping here. Okay, I look after the attendance who were present around. We have 122 participants. Request both pairs of B9 and B10. Okay. Collect the attendance of your corresponding sections. Okay, and text me in WhatsApp. This is my WhatsApp number. I'm writing here. I guess CR's B10 CR is having, right? You can put in the group.
Okay.
B10 CR.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. My writings are visible, right? Anyone can give feedback regarding this first class voluntarily. I expect some feedback like regarding representation, visibility, any other issue. Roll number 56 B10.
No, sir. So not much issue, but the video is lagging at the last, sir, a bit.
Okay, lagging at the last, right? Earlier it was fine, right?
It was fine, sir.
Yes, sir, it's fine.
Okay.
It's fine, sir.
And now it's fine.
The
sir,
session
but
is
a little
recorded
late.
on my device. Okay, it will be uploaded. I will leave my blog site. Okay, there you can find these class videos. Anytime you can read it. So I'm stopping at here my lecture. Be there in the Zoom meeting. I will look after the attendance. Okay.
Excuse me, sir. Sir, my mother is also. Hello, sir.
Yeah. Tell.
Sir, my mother is also a teacher. She has a class at
Yeah,
3, sir.
tell.
So can I log off? She has to use the laptop, sir.
Yeah. You inform the CR regarding your roll number.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, CRs, are you collecting the attendances?
Yes, sir. Completely.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, wait a minute. It's 1:22. Okay, so I'm ending this session.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.